Hey everybody, hi, and today I'm going to talk to you about the good enough principle and how you can use that concept to increase innovation, improve your productivity, and start making money sooner. Now, I'm actually talking directly to coaches, course creators, and service professionals in this, but it really applies to any business owner out there, because we are going to talk about how you can leverage the good enough principle for your business so you can get things out there faster and get out of this perfectionism trap, right? Because perfectionism is a business killer, really, because not only if you're a solopreneur and you're trying to be perfect on everything, you can delay the launch of your business, you can delay the launch of your products and your services, and all of that is costing you money when you get into perfectionism. If you have a team, your perfectionism can actually hinder the innovation of the members of your team. So you want to watch out for those things and make sure that you're not getting into that perfectionism trap, having too high of standards. And so the good enough principle is good news for you, because it is a concept that we use in the IT world. It's really about building the minimum viable product and then building upon that. So it's like having a foundation, right? So you build the foundation of your business or your product or your service, and then you start adding to it. So I'd love to take an example of a lead magnet. So let's say you're creating a lead magnet, and maybe it's actually a course that you're going to create sometime, but you can actually make it a lead magnet first and then build it into a course over time. So let's say you have a concept that you have and you have a whole course mapped out, everything. What you could do with that lead magnet is just create the high level PDF or something like that, a PDF that's the very high level of what that course is going to be, and then get it out there. Those concepts can still help people, even if you're not telling all the details about what's going on. And when you get that out there, then you can start getting feedback, you start understanding your audience better, and you can actually start building upon it based on their feedback rather than you just guessing what it is. And so that good enough principle really saves us, right? Because if you think about the iPhone, it really started out that way as well, right? Many products out there that we know do, like the iPhone started out with no forward-facing camera and no flash photography, and has grown up into the iPhone that people know and love today as the 15 or whatever version it is. And so they use that good enough principle as well, because they wanted to have the forward-facing camera. They wanted to have flash photography, but maybe it wasn't ready yet, or they didn't want to miss their deadline, right? So that's a really big issue there. And as entrepreneurs, we often think, oh, deadline, it's okay. It's my deadline. I set the deadline, so no big deal. But when you're a company on the stock exchange, you have a lot more responsibility to the stockholders and to the stakeholders to get things out on time. And so that's the idea behind that, is they create that minimum viable product. And they do that by prioritizing. And if you're a good scrummer, if you use the Scrum principles or any type of agile type principles, that we can prioritize by have, should have, could have, and won't have at this time. And that's basically what they did with the iPhone, right? Is they said, you're not going to have these things at this time because we just don't have time. We're going to miss our deadline if we do that, or whatever the story was, right? But in any case, they ended up cutting those things out. And then they released the iPhone in July of 2007, and they went on to sell 1.3 million devices in the first 6 months that it was out there. And so, that's revenue, right? That's revenue for their product and for that project to continue on. And so that's the idea, start thinking about the return on investment. It's not so large as return on investment on your whole entire company, but return on investment on that one product or service that you're putting out there. And by using the good enough principle, you can start getting some ROI early on, getting feedback, and then go through a continuous improvement cycle to keep improving on that. And that's one of the things, and that's actually how I teach new entrepreneurs how to build their business. We use the good enough principle, we use the minimum viable product, and we use the drive the spike as well in IT, which is basically, spike through all the technology that you're going to use while you build out this product. And then you learn all that technology, first run through. That way you're not getting caught up and hung up later on down the road. So you drive that spike, you learn all the technology, you create a proof of concept, and then a minimum viable product. Then you get it out there and you go through continuous improvement to make it better. So back to that little lead magnet that you created, that lead magnet can now grow up, time into a product, a service, course, a comprehensive course, or whatever it is. But by starting with a lead magnet, you can gauge your audience quickly and learn what they're going to respond to. And then you can build on something that's proven, right? And that you're getting feedback on. Same kind of thing with your offer. You want to get it out there as quickly as possible instead of hemming and hawing those things. And then instead, you just get it out there. You prove it will convert. You prove that somebody will pay for that. And then it's much easier to start investing in that business, product, or service that you have. Now you know that it's proven and that willing to pay for it. And then you can start getting feedback so you can improve it based on the needs and desires of your users of that particular product. Okay, so the way you do the good enough principle for yourself is you focus on that minimum viable product and you prioritize by must have, won't have at this time. It makes it very simple for you to see what things you actually have to have. And pretty much your minimum viable product is just going to be your must-haves. All those bells and whistles can wait till the next iteration, right? You're going to use a continuous improvement cycle in order to make that thing grow up into the product or service that you want it to be in the future. And then you want to be fearless. Just be fearless, get it out there, just, know of the outcome and just do it, because when you just go for it and you get it out there, is going to be helped by what you already put out there, and rather than having to wait for it. And you can actually start making money sooner, start putting that money back into that little project so that you can build upon it, just like the iPhone did with theirs. And here they are all these years later, and they have this big, massive, of money generated and everything from that product. So that means that though you have to have some perseverance when you're going through, right? Because you got to keep seeing that vision. So every time you do an iteration, you want to step back and see the bigger vision of where you're going so that you don't lose track and you don't lose sight of that vision, and you keep going forward. Even if it's not, rich right now, that doesn't mean it's not going to pay off later on down the road as it grows up. But by it out there and doing iterations, you're going to get feedback and you're going to be hitting the nail on the head much better than if you're sitting in your little office and not talking to anybody and not getting your products or services out there. Okay, so if you want to learn more about how you can your business and launch your product and prove your offer converts in my programs, hit ahead and put P down in comments somewhere, and I will reach out to you. Also, you can download my new workbook. It's called Perfectionism, the Silent Business Killer, and it's on my website at thescrumshop.com, workbooks. All right, I will see you guys in the comments. Thanks.